My name is Shomu Datta Gupta, and from Jamboree. I'm the CEO of Jamboree Education, and I'm very happy to have Mr. Amit Tyagi from ISB as a panelist for this session. So as you can see, the session is on how to get into ISB, and Amit is going to speak about that. So a bit about Amit. Quick check, am I audible and visible to all of you? Please, can I have a quick response in the chat to all of you? Yeah, okay, thanks Apurv, thank Mahima. Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you so much. So Amit is the Associate Director of Admissions and Financial Aid at the Indian School of Business, and he takes lead in managing the PGP admissions. Amit has 13 plus years of experience in education, out of which 8 plus years has been in the admissions for marketing and strategy. So thank you, Amit. So the way we are going to do this is, I think some of you are Jamboree students and some of you may not be Jamboree students. So for the benefit of everyone, just to kind of introduce Jamboree. Jamboree has been in the space of admissions and GMAT GRE preparation, and we have been operating from 1993. So we are almost 20 plus years of history behind us, and we operate in 4 countries, in 22 cities, and in 39 physical centers. So obviously now we are not teaching physically; we are teaching online. But we hope shortly we'll get back to the physical centers. Okay, so that's the bit about Jamboree, and the flow of the session is going to be like this. I'm going to introduce Jamboree and do an introductory session for about 10 minutes. Amit is going to present about ISB for about 20 minutes, and we will have a Q&A session post that. So starting about 6:30, we'll have the Q&A session. Since there are quite a few of us here, I can see about 125 people. So we will have the questions on the chat. So please don't use the Q&A, use the chat, okay? And we hope to finish that by 7 p.m. So 30 minutes of Q&A. So that's the plan of the session. And so just to reiterate, please put your questions on the chat and we will answer those questions. Okay, quickly, I think all of us have to start with this question of why. And I'm sure some of you have, while you are thinking of why to do an MBA, I think these are the most common reasons why some of us choose to do an MBA. And just to give my perspective, I did my engineering from NIT Tunkapur and went to IIM Bangalore. So for me, I was an engineering student. I switched my industry domain from core engineering. I did an engineering job for 2 years and switched it to the finance and marketing side. So that's what I did. And similarly, for any people who want to switch functions or switch industry, or maybe you want to get into a faster track, increase compensation, and some of us also use this opportunity of doing an MBA to build networks and explore entrepreneurship right out of college or after some years. And I'm sure Amit is going to throw more light on all of these, how ISB helps us into doing that. When you talk of MBA, yeah, Ujjwal, please don't raise your hand. Please put your questions on the chat. We won't be able to handle multiple interaction windows. Whatever you have, put it on the chat. We'll revert back. So the MBA options, there are essentially 2 types of MBA options. One for people with less than 2 years work ex, freshers right out of college, or people in college, and people with less than 2 years work ex. And then there are the regular MBAs, people with more than 2 years work ex. Okay, so you can have various kinds of programs, and along with that, there's an interesting program called Early Entry MBA. ISB has a program I'm sure Amit is going to talk for that, where you can get into schools like ISB, which will require you to have a work experience before you start, but you can do it right from college in your pre-final or final year, provided you meet all the admission requirements and get an admission to ISB or any other school which offers a program like that. Uh, so this is where Jamboree students go across. Uh, while earlier we were seeing a lot of interest in US, but now obviously Canada and Europe and UK have picked up as destinations, and we have schools like ISB and many others where in India which are also taking the GMAT or the GRE, and hence that's where our students go. Uh, what do universities look at? These are some of what I'm sure Amit is going to touch on all of these. So I'm going to touch on just the GMAT and GRE and just leave the rest to Amit for his part. So GMAT and GRE test, we will not see a cutoff in most of the schools, but once you research, you will see a accepted GMAT GRE score level. You can see on their websites. But here again, we have to, while they give out their information on the websites, but these are applicable across all applicant pools. We as Indians, if we are applying to the foreign business schools, we will compete against our own country pool. So to that extent, you need to be aware of what the GMAT GRE levels of Indian students are, and they tend to be on the higher side. And hence a good GMAT GRE score puts you in contention, and it's that really helps your admission to the good MBA schools. Okay, and in four is the cutoff. 4+ is the cutoff for the AWS session. So it really helps to have a good GRE GMAT score, and hence what we do at Jamboree, we help students to prepare on 3 modes. One is the classroom mode, which I spoke of at our 39 centers. Now, obviously, for the last 1.5 years, we've been doing live, where students come onto a session like what we're doing here and learn, and there is the on-demand. On-demand is where you have recorded lectures and the tests and analysis, and you can even speak to a faculty if you want to clear your doubts. So that's what the 3 modes of studying for GMAT or GRE, and also IELTS and TOEFL in case you want to take. And what we do is our uh, study material, online tests, study portals, and we pride on giving unlimited doubt clearing sessions. So there is no dirt in the number of times you can ask for doubt clearing, and we keep on having webinars all through the week, whether it is doubt clearing sessions like these where we get experts, or we have sessions where we get our admissions team talking to our students. So we have all these kinds of webinars, and the central part of our entire online experience is our portal, the Jamboree's GRE or GMAT portal, which is very personalized. You personalize according to the date which you want to take your examination, and it follows from there. So whatever we do at Jamboree, it's there on the portal, right from your links to your classes, to your recordings, to the doubt clearing sessions, to the access to webinars, testing, analysis, all of that. Okay, and we have a very advanced analytics feature available on our portal, where you can compare against others, you can see how you're doing, keep track of your progress, and also estimate your projected score based on how you're performing. Okay, so that's what we at Jamboree. And for the testing, for the admissions part, we are there with all the students for admissions. So it starts from start to finish, right from shortlisting of universities to helping to build your profile, your applications, financial documentation, applying for scholarships, training for interviews. We do all of that, and you also get a chance of the Jamboree's alumni group, it's got many students who have been there, done that, and hence there's a wealth of information from which you can get from our alumni group. Some tips which we see, and I'm sure Amit is going to speak more about that is it's important to start this process a little early rather than late. Okay, so that's what the, in spite of the best credentials, the thing which we find which is missing for most of our students is they start late, and if they start late, everything which you have spoken of becomes rushed. Okay, so start a little early, uh, ideally a year and a half before you want to start the program. So for example, if you're planning to start the program in August of a certain year, it's better to start by the February or March of the previous year. And so, and other than that, I spoke of some of these earlier. Recommenders play an important part. Identify your recommenders early, uh, and keep on building a profile. So that trick is to differentiate yourself from the competition pool, how you stand out, and and a good academics always helps. A good GPA, good GMAT score always helps. Okay, so that's about me from my side. If you want a demo with one of our GMAT faculties, if you want profile evaluation done by our MBA counselors, you can leave your number on the chat, and we will get in touch with you. So at the end of the session, I will again request you, in case you have a, if you have a uh, want to schedule a call with our faculty or admission counselors, you can leave your number on the chat, or you talk to us on these phone number, mail us here. You can do any one of these. Okay. So with this, I hand it over to Amit, and I can see some questions here. We will take all of that at the end of the session. And yeah, Amit, are you there? Hello. Yeah, Amit, over to you. So I can see some of you have left your numbers. Thank you so much for that. In case others want to leave their phone numbers, we'll get in touch. Amit, it's over to you. Amit, can you hear me?
Let me just check with him.
Yeah, just take it. So as we are waiting for Amit, if you can just also quickly tell me about a little bit about yourself. So for example, how many of your students and how many of your working professionals? So that gives me an idea of, you can just type on the as students or working, so you can give me an idea till Amit joins. Okay, okay, working, okay. Okay. I believe Amit has a technical problem. Doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. I think most of you are working. Okay. Great. And how many of you have taken a GMAT or a GRE till now? If you have taken, just say yes. If not taken, just tell no. Okay. Okay. So as you know, that today you can take either a GMAT or a GRE to go to a B school. Most of, but if you are very clear about that you want to go to do a GMAT MBA, it's better. Okay, okay, taken. Okay, understand. Sure. Understand. Uh, GMAT a better option for MBA? Yeah, it's if you are looking only for MBA, it's better to look at GMAT. It opens up more schools, but today GRE is also equally acceptable. But so you might want to take a mock test of each one of these. You can come to our portal called jamboree.online. You can make a note. I will leave it on the chat. Jamboree.online. You can go here and and just uh, and just take a mock test of a GMAT or a GRE, and you see which one works better for you. Yeah, just wait till Amit joins. I believe he's
Yeah,
facing
I'm
some technical trouble.
very
I
sorry
think
for
he's back.
this technical
Yeah,
trouble. Uh, I think there's some problem in my Zoom, in my browser, but I think now we are good to go. Am I audible, Shomyo?
yeah. Amit, you're audible. Yeah, I was having a good chat with the students, so
Sure, sure.
no worries.
So
Yeah, you
I'll
can.
just hope that there are no more issues.
Yeah, so
And
yeah. Go ahead. Over to you, Amit.
sure, thanks, Shomyo. I could in fact hear you when you were talking to the audience, and
Yeah,
I
I
could
was
not
just, I
unmute
was
my.
just okay,
Yeah,
okay. No problem. I just was just checking how many of them are students and how many are working professionals if they're taking a GMAT or a GRE.
sure.
So that most people here are working. At least the majority looks to be people who are working, and most majority haven't taken the GMAT or the GRE. That
That's
looks to
great.
be the profile of the audience today. Yeah.
That's great.
Over to you.
Sure. So, welcome everyone. I hope I'm audible to all of you. My name is Amit Tyagi, and I lead the PGB program at ISB for admissions in marketing. Uh, Today, I'll talk briefly about the origins of ISB, what is our vision, what is our philosophy. Then I'll talk about five key offerings of ISB, or five key value propositions which we offer to a student, to a cohort, and to our aspirants. And then finally, on the application process, how to apply is what I'll talk about. So moving on, when ISB was set up in the year 2001, so we are now 20 years old, and we are celebrating a 20-year anniversary this year. So when we were set up in 2001, we did not want to reinvent the wheel, but we wanted to learn from the world's best and bring in the best management practices, philosophy, curriculum, and faculty to students right here in the heart of India. And that's when we partnered with Kellogg and Wharton as our founding associate B schools. So Kellogg and Wharton have, helped build us the institution in its initial years. They share their knowledge, their curriculum, their faculty members with us. And within a very short span of time, we were recognized as a teaching institute par excellence in India and the world. Now, any good educational institution, any top education institution is not just a knowledge disseminator, but also a knowledge creator. And that's when, when we wanted to build a research practice, that's when we partnered with LBS and MIT Sloan School of Management for their the world's top research-focused B schools. And we partnered with them to build a research practice. In a short span of time, we have become a research-focused B school and also known for our research worldwide. We've also partnered with the Fletcher School at the Tufts University for its expertise in law and legal environment. And that's where we get our strength in public policy from, which is one of the specializations we offer to our students, and also work very closely with various state governments, bureaucrats, and the central government for solving issues of national importance. So all these efforts of our global, associate B schools And apart from this, we also have 50 plus collaborations with universities and B schools for student exchange and faculty exchange. All these efforts have, made us among the top B schools, not just in India now, but among the world in a very short period of 20 years. And this has been reaffirmed by almost all the top global ranking agencies and accreditation agencies. So FT Global MBA rankings ranks us number 1 in India, number 5 in Asia, number 23 globally, and more importantly, number 3 globally in terms of salary growth of the cohort. So the incoming salary of the candidates versus the outgoing salary of the candidates saw a growth of 173% last year for the last year's cohort, and that is number 3 across all the B schools in the world. In terms of research, the AMA 2020 Research Productivity Ranking ranks us number 1 in Asia and number 44th globally, and the SCM Journalist ranks us number 1 in India and among the top 100 globally. We are also among a select few schools. In fact, there are just 100 B schools currently, which have the Triple Crown accreditation, which is nothing but accreditation by ACSB, a North American body, ACWIS, a European body, and Association of MBAs, Association of Global B Schools worldwide. And we are ranked by, we are accredited by all 3 of them now. So, which is, and we are now the youngest B school to be accredited by the Triple Crown, to have the Triple Crown accreditations. So, what this does is this firmly establishes our credentials across the globe. So as ISB graduates, you can work in any of the our countries or any organizations worldwide because of the Triple Crown accreditations, which we have. So moving on, I'll now want to talk about 5 key things about the PGP program at ISB, or this could also, you can also look at it as 5 things that people should look at while shortlisting their B schools. What are they? I'll talk about the faculty at ISB, faculty model. We'll talk about the learning model. We'll talk about our alumni network. We'll talk about the facilities we have to offer. And finally, the career opportunities which we make available to the graduates of our PGP program. Talking about the faculty, so at ISB, we follow a unique faculty model called portfolio model of faculty. Now, what is a portfolio model? So let me just explain. So even though we have 70 plus teaching and research faculty members on our campus at Hyderabad and Mohali who teach a contemporary curriculum, but apart from that, we have a pool of 200 plus visiting faculty members from top global B schools. And when I say visiting faculty, they don't just visit for a one-off lecture, but they come to ISB for a complete term and teach a complete course, what they have been teaching at the respective universities. Hence the term portfolio model of faculty. So what this does is you get access to the top teaching talent from top universities of the world right here in the heart of India. 2 examples come to my mind. One is Mr. Edward Rogers, who till recently was the chief knowledge officer at NASA and now has his own startup in the area of complexity. And as a rocket scientist at NASA, he used to deal with complexity day in and day out. And for the last 10 years, he has been teaching a course called Managing Business Complexity at ISB. So imagine learning complexity from the foremost exponent of the field in the world. Similarly, another example is Mr. Chris Subramanian. He is the current Chief Economic Advisor to the Government of India and also a faculty of Finance and Economics at ISB. So imagine learning finance and economics from a person who advises Government of India on those matters. So that's the kind of teaching talent we are able to bring to our students because of the portfolio model of faculty which we follow. Moving on to the learning model. So at ISB, we follow something called a 4-tiered learning model. Of course, classroom learning is the most important piece in that among those 4 pillars. In terms of classroom learning, we follow the case methodology. We offer our students 10 specializations, 6 functional and 4 industry. Marketing, operation, finance, strategy, entrepreneurship, and public policy are the functional specializations, and healthcare, IT, infrastructure, and manufacturing are the industry specializations. All the courses are spread across 8 terms over 52 weeks. And in the first 3.5 terms, you learn 14 core courses. And in the next 4.5 terms, you take between 17 to 20 electives, which will decide your specializations. And you have a choice of 80 plus electives to choose from for those 17 to 18 to 20 electives. And this curriculum compares, similar to any other 2-year program in India as well. Other thing which we look at is in terms of applied learning, we have opportunities for students to do a live project with a particular organization. So organizations such as Facebook, Amazon, and others offer live projects for students to do in groups or individually. And you can do these projects along with attending your classes at ISB. So you attend classes between Monday to Thursday, and on weekends you work on the project. You visit the organizations on the weekend, understand the issues, and you work on this for 3.5 months. Post which you submit your findings and help in implementation by spending a week there. Peer learning is an important component, of course. At ISB, we have a very diverse class, and we have 50 plus international exchanges with top global universities and schools across the world, which ensures that you have both inbound and outbound students. So people from those universities come and spend time at ISB, and ISB students go and spend time at those universities. So you learn not just from your peers in India, but peers from global universities and B schools as well. We have 14 professional and 10 social clubs to ensure that you can build your professional competencies and pursue your passions through social clubs. And the, since the program is fully residential on the state-of-the-art ISB campuses, you have access to seminars and conferences which keep happening on a regular basis. So every week, something or other is happening apart in the classrooms, and you are spoiled for choice on what to attend and what to forego. Again, ISB organizes various events for you to benchmark yourself against your peers, and also not just from ISB, but also from others in India. And as ISB students, you have access to all the global competitions and national competitions where you can compete with your peers from other B schools and benchmark yourselves and learn from them. So this is what the course, the term for the current batch looks like. It's a full 1-year program wherein the term started on 5th June for the current class and will end by 30th of May next year. For in between, we have various initiatives planned for them. We have a career prep week, we have an ELP week, we have solstice and equinox, which are the which are the festivals at Hyderabad Mohali campus. And more importantly, if you see here, the first term is called the Digital Head Start Module, or DHM, and is a 10-week long course. So I want to highlight or talk about this a bit more. What is DHM? It's nothing but it's a program which is held virtually even before you start your ISB on-campus journey. For the first 10 weeks of your ISB journey, you'll be taking courses on the digital platform, which is specially customized for this purpose. And this is something which we have integrated in the calendar, looking at the current scenario wherein, high
Yeah, just hold on. I think Amit has again faced technical problem. Just hold on. Yeah, guys, just hold on. Prashant, please reach out to Amit.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think he's logged out. He should come back. Yeah, guys, just hold on. Prashant, Amit seems to be having a technical issue. Yeah, guys, hold on, please.
Hi everyone. Amit will take 1 more minute to join. He's switching his laptop. Uh, just hang on for a minute.
Prashant, if he's taking some more time,
Mm-hmm.
should I do a few questions with the students?
Sure. Please go ahead.
Hold on. Okay, let me do something different. Yeah, just hold on. Yeah, I think Amit is fine. Not no need for you. Amit, Amit, are you there? Amit, we can see you. We can't hear you. You're on mute. No, you're still on mute, Amit. Amit, you have to. Yeah, now you're unmuted. Can you hear us? We still don't. We still don't seem to able to hear you, Amit. No, we can't hear you, Amit. I think you should earphones, Amit. Just
So maybe you can just take some Q questions.
Okay, shall I hear some questions? I'll stop I'll avoid the ISB questions. I will take any other questions today. Okay. If you have any questions pertaining to GMAT GA preparation, please shoot. Yeah, I can. Please.
Yeah, so I hope
Yeah.
I'm audible now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
you are
I'm
audible now.
very sorry for this technical glitches. It's very unexpected. This is the way sometimes things happen with come and bite you when least expected. Yeah, so I was talking about the digital head start module at ISB. So it will consist of 4 parts, and we have a specially customized digital platform for this particular module, wherein 6 easy paced core courses will be taught on a digital format, and this will count towards graduation requirements. And the idea is to ease students into the rigors of academics who come with a lot of work experience. Another component is a leadership development component, so you'll undergo a lead course as part of this particular module. And finally, you will have the other component is the O week, the orientation week, where the senior batch will handhold the junior batch and do the knowledge transfer in terms of various courses or various processes or systems at ISB. Another very interesting component of DHM is the ISB Perspective series, where students are exposed to talks by people from ISB ecosystem. It could be the board members, the senior LMs who are spread all over the world. So since the format is digital, people can participate in this particular perspective series from all over the world, and you get access to their insights into their journey and their leadership lessons from them. Now, co-curricular activities are also held on the DHM platform, where all the elections to various clubs will happen, before you come to the campus, so that you have enough time when you come to the campus to execute your vision for various clubs and various student body roles which you have envisioned for yourself. A slide on diversity at ISB. So at ISB, we have a cohort which is 900 strong every year, and this enables us to get people from diverse fields or diverse walks of life. We have people who are army officers, people who are doctors, people who are sportsmen, people who have played at national level, people from the fashion industry, people who are from the theater industry, people from the aviation industry, who not just bring in a diverse perspective to the case discussion in the classroom, but also help you get inspired outside in in campus life through the various clubs and various activities. A look at the various diversity parameters of ISB. So the figures which you see are for the class of 2022, which has 934 students, 600 of which are in Hyderabad and 300 of which are in Mohali. Now, of this various factors which you see, we had 61% men in the last year's cohort, 39% women. In terms of the GMAT score, we had a range of 600 to 780, and the median was 710. Now, one thing to look at here is the figures in the black are for the overall ISB cohort, and the figures in the blue are for the Hyderabad campus, and figures in green are for the Mohali campus. Now, the figures are, for both the campus, Hyderabad and Mohali, are similar. So we go to great lengths to ensure that there is a consistent student experience, student diversity across both the campuses. So if you look at non-engineers versus engineers, if 57% is the overall engineers at ISB class, 58% are in for the Hyderabad campus, it's 58%, for Mohali campus, it's 56%, almost similar. So moving on, we'd look at the differentiators. So what differentiates a top B school from others is that they're not, as I mentioned earlier, they're not just knowledge disseminators, but they're also knowledge creators. And for this purpose, we have set up research institutes at the Mohali campus and centers of excellence at the Hyderabad campus. These RIs and centers of excellence work with the industry and solve practical problems related to those particular industry or in which they operate in. So what this does it, this gives us our faculty a real-time hands-on research experience, which flows into the classrooms as well. And we also offer industry employees of those particular organizations short-term AMPs or advanced management programs ranging from 2 weeks to 9 months. For those of you who are planning to be entrepreneurs, ISB has two incubation centers, the Atal Incubation Center at Mohali and the D Labs at Hyderabad. So as students, the incubation centers offer you a course called Plan and Entrepreneurial Venture. And if you can be part of this course, start learning about how to start a business, the various building blocks of business, the business plan, the business models, and so on and so forth. And then once you graduate, you can make your own business plan and submit the proposal to the incubation center to be a part of it. And if you are selected, then we will support you for 12 months with a stipend. We'll give you office space, and we'll also give you investor connect and mentor connect from the ISB ecosystem to help your startup take off the ground. And this is open not just to ISB alums or students, but also to the general public at large. Moving on, let's look at the global network at ISB. So even though we are a young B school, but we have still been able to build a formidable network of 11,500 plus alums till date, of which 95% are from the PGP program. So the PGPA and the PhD programs contribute 11,500 plus alums as on date, of which already 550 are in CXO roles, 600 are dealing the family businesses, and 79% of them are in India, 21% abroad in more than 60 plus countries and 400 plus cities. Now, one thing about the alum network is that it ensures that your learning never stops even after you graduate from ISB. So they have this 11 special interest groups which you can be part of, and you can attend the networking events, the learning events, mentorship events, which this SIGs organize for its member on a regular basis, ensuring that you keep learning even after you graduate from ISB. Moving on about our facilities at across the two campuses. So we have two campuses, as you all may be aware, one at Hyderabad, other is Mohali. And we follow a philosophy called one school, two campuses, one experience. So whether you're at Hyderabad, whether you're at Mohali, you will have a consistent student experience, consistent teaching experience. And we do this by through a lot of intra-campus exchange. So students from Hyderabad get to spend a term at Mohali, students from Mohali get to spend a term at Hyderabad. And a lot of telepresence happens as part of these programs. And the placements and admissions are integrated for both the campuses. So you don't apply to ISB Hyderabad or ISB Mohali, apply to ISB and give a preference of your campus. And we try to match that preference for you. And even in terms of placements, the recruiters will not know whether you're from Hyderabad or Mohali. The placements are centralized at one campus. In 1 year it is Mohali, in another year it's Hyderabad. And recruiters will not even know which campus you are part of. So there's a video for Life at ISB. I'll looking at the technical glitches, I'll not play this video. I'll maybe leave a link to this video at the end of the chat. You can look at it on YouTube. I'll move on to the next part of the presentation, which is on placements. So these are the stats for placements at ISB. You can have a look. As I said earlier, we are ranked third in terms of salary growth, which was 173% for the last batch. There were 890 students in the earlier batch for which received 554 offers from 432 companies. But the more important thing to look here is the Venn diagram in the center. What it talks about is that 79% of the cohort had a functional shift. That is, somebody who was working in sales moved to marketing, somebody who was working in, let's say, technology moved to finance, and so on and so forth, right? 78.5 had an industry shift. Somebody was working in metals and mining or automotive, moved to banking or consulting, so on and so forth. And 66% or 2/3 had both a functional and industry shift. So the whole idea of the PGP program is to ensure that you get a quantum shift in your careers, are able to do those transitions which you are looking at as per your potential. Look at some of our indicative recruiters. So even though we are a very strong consulting and a tech-focused campus, but we still have a huge depth in terms of other areas also, primarily because of placement team which we have. And if you look at consulting, all the top consulting companies come and recruit from the ISB cohort. In fact, for McKinsey, the senior partners have been on record saying that ISB is the biggest talent source in whole of Asia for their recruitment in terms of fresh from the campuses. Moving on, we'll quickly move to how to apply. So there are 3 modes of entry to the PGP program. One is a direct mode, which is for people who have 2+ years of work experience as on class start date. and they can apply directly on a website. What happens if you don't have 2+ years of work experience on class start date? You can still apply, it will still be considered, but only thing is that if we make you an admission, it will be a deferred admission. That is, you cannot join this year, but you can join in the year in which you complete your 2 months of work experience. So 2 months of 2 years of work experience. So 2 years of work experience is mandatory for you to join the class at ISB. So for all the people who do not have 2 years of work experience, you can apply to ISB through the early entry option, and you'll be getting a deferred admission option, which is the guaranteed admission to PG program, but after you completed 24 months of work ex. The third option is for people who are currently in their pre-final year and final year of their colleges. And for such people, we have a program called Young Leaders Program. This is a separate application form altogether, and this starts in December 2021. The next intake starts in December 2021, and pre-final year and final year students can apply. And if we find them suitable, we'll make them offers, and those will be deferred admission offers again. So after you graduate from your colleges, you have to get 20 months of work experience to join the PGP program, but it will be a guaranteed admission which you have in your hands before even you graduate from your colleges. So what do we look at, right? How do we evaluate candidates? So we have a very holistic profile-based evaluation. We will never reject or shortlist a candidate based on one particular parameter, let's say a GMAT or a GRE or their CADS or their WorkX. What we do is, we generate a profile score for the candidates based on their academics, work experience, test scores, awards and achievements, essay and recommendation. And all this is converted to a profile score. And the profile score is used as a cutoff for calling people for interviews. So what this does is, even if your GMAT score is lower, you can still cover up if you have good ACADS and good work experience. Or if your ACADS are on the lower side, you can cover up with a higher GMAT score. So it's all in your hands how you want to balance your profile. So we have people with 2 years also in the class. We have people with 2 years of work experience in the class. We have people with even 20 years of work experience in the class. So that's how we evaluate those candidates based on the holistic profile-based evaluation. Now, a quick recap of the application. What are the process? What are the essentials? You need a bachelor's degree. You need a work experience of 2 years to be part of the class, and you need a GMAT or a GRE score to apply. The application for process is online. The online application is currently live, where we'll capture your academics, we'll capture your employment details. You'll have to write 2 essays and 1 letter of recommendations. And in terms of essay questions, what we look at uniqueness of your thoughts and your career goals, what you want to do in the career. So there are 2 essays which capture these 2 particular things. Now, the important deadline, upcoming deadline for round 1 is September 12th, 2021. The tentative deadline for round 2 is December 5, 2021. And for round 3, it's January 23, 2022. So these are the key dates to keep in mind. So that's all I had for the formal part of the presentation today. I'll be open to interaction and questions with all of you, permitting technical issues if they don't cause an hitch. But in case I'm not able to answer all your queries today, please reach out to us on the phone numbers given here, or write to us at pgp@isb.edu, or on our Facebook or Instagram handles as well. We are very active there. And you can scan this QR code if you have any doubts in the application. This will take you to the application, and you can ask me right away as well in this session as well. So that's all from my side. Thank you, Shubhro. Over to you.
I think, Amit, there are quite a few questions which come on the chat and the Q&A. If you scroll across them and start answering, I think that's
sure.
a good thing to do.
Sure, I'll do that. So, there's a question by Rama. Typically, how much time does it take to prepare application for ISB? So ISB application per se has different components where we capture your 5 things: your WorkX, your ACADS, your test score, a letter of recommendation, and essays. So 4 components which will not take much time in terms of your ACADS. You already have them. WorkX, you already have a record of that. What will take time is the essays, and that I suggest you take some time out, think through them, get 2 or 3 drafts ready, and then prepare the essays. So, and typically a good essay usually takes 2 to 3 weeks to prepare, depending on how much time you have in a day. But I'll suggest all of you take some time to think through your essays, through your goals, through your experiences you want to share in the essays, because they are very critical in terms of not just your evaluation but also from the interview point of view. So while these students need only 20 months, while others need 24 months of work ex. That's correct, Milana. The reason for that is that while these students are going to graduate from college, and college graduation usually happens sometime in the month of May or June, and ISB session starts in April. So we want to give them, not more than 2 years to complete that work experience requirements. So when they'll be joining in April, it's very difficult for them to have 24 months of work experience. So we give them this consideration for 4 months so that they can join the program in the month of April at ISB. So that's the reason for the discrepancy between YLP students and the normal EO or PGP students. How important is recommendation while evaluating the profile? So recommendation, is something which we require to validate your skill sets from a third person whom you have worked closely with. So you may have written something in your application about your skill sets, but we also get a point of view from somebody who has managed you or who has worked closely with you. What do they think of your skill sets is also something which you want to vouch for. And in that context, recommendation is really important. And it's with very much care that you should choose a recommender. Don't just choose somebody who you think would not do justice to it. Ideally, your immediate supervisor should be the person who should be giving the recommendation. But if you feel that he or she may not be able to do justice, you can also take it from the skip line manager or somebody other senior customers, senior vendors, so on and so forth. But try to get it from your immediate supervisor, because that is the most credible source of recommendation. In terms of the deadline dates, I'll mention that the round 1 deadline is September 12th. The round 2 deadline is tentative, but it is expected to be December 5th. And round 3 deadline is January 23rd, again tentative. Will there be any extension of deadline? So we will not have any extension of deadline for round 1 or round 2 this year, or round 3, because we feel that last year we had an extension to enable students to complete their GRE or GMAT test in time. This year we feel that you may not require, since the test centers are already open in most of the places, and there's also an online test which is now proven, and a lot of glitches have been taken care of. You can also give the online test. So we will not have any more extensions apart from the other one. But in case you're not able to apply in round 1, you are free to apply in round 2 or round. So since the presentation is over, I can take questions from my cell phone so that we don't run into any more, technical glitches. But I will not be able to read out the questions from this particular. Okay, I think I'm here as well. So yeah, so there's a question again by. When can we give GMAT to apply this year? So you can give a GMAT if you want to be in round 1, if you want to apply for round 1 by 12th of September. So your GMAT test date cannot be later than the round 1 deadline. Aditya has a question: with 2 years and 20 years people in the class, won't there be a gap in kind of idea approach in the program given the program is 1 year? I know ISB wants the class to be diverse, but how is this is generally handled by lower experienced people? So Aditya, thing is that, somebody with a 2-year work experience brings in a different set of skill sets than somebody with a 20 years work experience. So people who are currently having lesser work experience or who are fresh graduates have an advantage in terms of the academic ability. They're able to ease into the rigors of academic faster, and they bring that enthusiasm and energy to the class in terms of recent learnings. Now, uh, for somebody who comes in with the 20 years of work experience, they have a very diverse set of perspectives. So what you get to learn a lot from somebody who has worked for 20 years in the army or served in different areas and or led so many people in the armed forces. So that person will give a different perspective. So it's all about learning from people at ISB, and at ISB we ensure that we have this study groups for people when we who join. Those groups are very carefully chosen, and we put people with different experiences together so that they can learn from each other. How international experience plays a role in selection and any scholarship for them? Thanks. So Akash, for international students, we have two types of scholarships. One is for people who are NRIs and who are working abroad but want to come back and do the MBA from India and want to work in India. For them, we have a scholarship called Bridge to India Scholarship, under which we offer up to 100% tuition fee waivers to such candidates. And for truly international students, people who have international passports, for them as well, we offer up to 100% of tuition fee waivers based on their performance in the selection process and their merit criteria. So these are the two things which we offer to our international students. Now, in terms of other scholarships, we offer merit scholarships and merit cum mean scholarships to people. The only across the 3 rounds, the only difference is that in round 1, maximum scholarships available are up to 100% of tuition fee waiver, and in round 2 and 3, they're up to 75% of tuition fee waiver. So if you are really wanting to apply for scholarships, I suggest you try to apply in round 1, because there you have a maximum chance of scholarships. Are chances higher or more as in round 1 as compared to chances in later rounds? So I want to put this on record here that chances are not higher or lower in any of the rounds. So either we have something called a profile score, and the profile score cutoff is determined at the beginning of the year, even before we close round 1, and that remains the same across the 3 rounds, whether it's round 1, round 2, or round 3. So the cutoffs are same across the round, so hence it means that there's no disadvantage to candidates. But yes, in round 2 and 3, people applying are lesser, and so lesser offers are also made accordingly in round 2 and round 3. But I'll suggest to you that if you're ready in a particular round, apply in that round. So don't delay your application just because you want to be in round 2 or round 3. And similarly, don't force yourself to apply half prepared just because you want to apply in round 1. So
Amit sir, you can switch off your camera if you want to.
sure. So is internship considered paid work experience? So for a work experience criteria, there are just 3 things you should look at. One is a work experience should be a full-time work experience. It can't be a part-time activity. Second is it should be a paid activity. It can't be a volunteer or a pro bono activity. And third is it should not be concurrent with any of your other qualifications or your work experience. For example, if you're graduating in May 2020 and you are doing an internship from March 2020, so you can't count the period between March 2020 to May 2020 as work experience. The work experience will start only after you graduate. So these are the three key criteria we should look at for the work experience. So if you have an internship which is paid, which is full time, which is apart from your work, apart from your education qualification, then it will be counted as a work experience. Purvi, your question is how does admission committee look at gap in work experience? So at ISB, we focus more on what you have done versus and not on what you have not done. So gaps in work experience are not looked at negatively at ISB. We will consider for the purpose of evaluation all your work which you have done, but gaps will not have any negative impact. But having said that, when you're going for interview, the LMs might be interested to know, LMs take all the interviews at ISB and they might be interested to know on, what you were doing in that particular gap. And then you should be able to answer without being defensive in at that particular time. That's the only thing we have to take care of about the work gaps. Otherwise, at ISB, we do not consider gaps as a negative thing. So Shwetang, your question is how work expenses counted for merchant navy, guys. So we understand, merchant navy is has its own set of challenges for counting the work experience, and there is a particular formula or process we use for counting work experience for merchant navy people, and that exact formula is not available right now. But if you can write to pgp@isb.edu, I'll ensure that you get the formula for counting the work experience for merchant navy people. Can we apply in simultaneous rounds for the same academic year? No, you cannot apply in simultaneous round. You can apply only for one round in one academic year. Does a good undergrad college will be an added advantage? So, it again, your academic scores are a function of a lot of things. Yes, undergrad college is considered, but we also consider your scores, we also consider degrees, we consider a lot of other things. So somebody from IIT having 60% and somebody from a tier 2 college having 90%, of course, the second person will have a better, more advantage because of the kind of scores he or she has got. So, how do ISB validate the work experience? Will ISB do a background check? Yes, we'll do a background check, but not at the time of admissions, but after you have been made an offer and you have joined the PGP program. But we will look at your documents. We'll expect you to have your pay slips, your appointment letters, or any document which validates your work experience is what we'll require from you at the time of application. CA articleship does not count as work experience, as that is part of the CA course. Right after graduation, doctors have 1 year of paid internship. Will that be counted as work experience? So Niharika, if you're talking about that mandatory 1 year of paid internship in a particular hospital, then I think yes, that counts as work experience. So ISB website is www.isb.edu. www.isb.edu. Do MBB make offer to ISB grads? Recently, I heard from ISB alum that MBB prefers hiring younger grads. I'm assuming the average age to be 27 to 28 considering WorkX. So how likely is it that an ISB grad to get an offer from IMBB? So Dhurjiti, I think you've got your information slightly wrong. In fact, MBBs make the maximum offers from the ISB campus across all the campuses in India. And in fact, one of our alums recently pointed out, he's a senior partner in McKinsey, that McKinsey's largest talent pool is ISB for their on-campus hiring. So definitely, in terms of consulting companies, ISB has some of the best hiring across campuses in India. Is it possible to apply directly for round 2 or 3? Yes, you are free to apply in any of the 3 rounds, be it round 1, round 2, or round 3. How is ISB 1-year PGP compared to a 2 years MBA from other business school? How does ISB manage to squeeze 2 years into 1 year? So I'll give you an answer since I have myself done a 2-year program from IIM Calcutta, so I can give you my experience. In the first year at IMC, I had 3 terms and I studied 15 core courses. And in the second year, I studied 18 electives. I had an option to study maximum of 20 and minimum of 17. I studied 18 electives. At ISB, in the first 3.5 terms, you study 14 core courses. And in the next 4.5 terms, you can take between 17 to 20 electives. So there's a difference of only 1 core course here. But another big difference is the internship part. So the 2-year people who work who study in a 2-year program are typically what we, as Shubho had pointed out in the beginning of his presentation, is an MIM equivalent program, Masters in Management, and they come with less than 2 years of work experience. So for them, they do not have an industry exposure prior to joining the MBA program. So for them, the 2 years of internship is something which is really worthwhile, getting an experience of how in a corporate setting. But at ISB, since most of our cohort has at least 2 years of work experience, the average is 4 years, 10 months. We do not have that industry component. Apart for that, we offer something called an experiential learning program, where you do a live program project with organization, but that's done remotely. I'm a CA until next year. Intake, my work experience will be 20 months. Can I apply? Definitely, you can apply, but you will be considered under the early entry option. I have left my job post 2 years of experience of preparation. Will that put an impact for selection? So as I mentioned, Aman, we don't look at gaps, but definitely in the interview, you might want to, explain without being defensive on why you have left your job and why you felt the need to prepare after leaving a job. So I'll take one last question. Sir, if a past is not good, I mean, if academics are bad, but work experience is 2+ years, in fact, working in a startup where I learned many new things, can such things help in overcoming bad academic score? So Rohan, yes, as I mentioned earlier, that we look at a profile-based evaluation. So if your acads are not good, then you might want to look at getting a good GMAT or a good GRE, and also writing in turning in a good essay and having clarity in your thought process in the essays and in interview, and that should work in your favor. Of course, your startup experience also would be counted positively. The Merchant Navy guy be considered for international scholarship. It will depend on which country you are based out of, and or whether you have an international passport or not. So I think I'll, since we've run out of time, I'll stop the questions here, and we have a very few questions now left. So you can, for those of you whose questions have not been able to answer, please reach out to the pgp@isb.edu, or even you can write to me as well, amit_tyagi@isb.edu. Over to you, Prashant.
Thank you, Mr. I just want to share those links in the chat. Just give me a moment. Your email ID and
yeah.
Hi guys, if we were unable to answer your question, just reach out to him on this email ID, and I hope this was helpful to you guys. This was really helpful for me, at least. This was really knowledgeable. And just in case you have any questions for us for any GMAT or profile related questions, just drop your number in the chat section, or reach out to us on this number, and we'll get in touch with you. With that being said, we will end today's session. The recording will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, and we will also try to send it across over email. Yeah, thank you. Stay safe and have a great weekend.
All
Thank
the
you,
best,
Mr.
everyone.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Yeah.
sorry for apologies for the technical glitches today. I'm sure next time we'll have a better session than this. All the best to everyone. Bye.
Bye bye, sir.